quickly breaks out into a bright smile, and his old tough self again.
Grand Slam. Alright, I'll go do it.
Koryu's going for a Grand Slam with his girlfriend, huh? I don't know if I should call him optimistic or if he doesn't really know what he's talking about, but at least it looks like I got through to him. In which case, I think it's time the ace slugger swings for the fences too.
Alright!
After high-fiving Koryu, I grab my stuff and run for the station. This time I won't oversleep. Maybe. Yeah, he's definitely going to confess to Yukari. Labrys already? The view from the pier matches an old memory of mine. The color of the sky, the ocean, the sound of the waves. This is the first time in years I have come back to this place.
Whoa, this brings back
Yukari?
memories. How long has it been since we were here? We were second years in high school, wasn't it?
It would be 3 years ago.
Oh, and I guess.
It was the summer of 2009.
Only 3 years, huh? It feels more like 10.
A lot has happened since then.
I see. Now that I think about it, you haven't returned to Yakushima since then either.
We leave the beach and follow a woodland path. The virgin forest is filled with lush greenery, and the air is cool and clean. We're headed to the remains of the ergonomics research lab.
You want to go to Yakushima?
Yes, if possible, that is.
I don't believe there's anything left there aside from warehouses, though.
Yes, I understand that.
I guess I have no intention of preventing you from going there. But may I ask why?
I have wanted to go back for a while now. That was when my sister's case began, so I thought that now would be a good opportunity. I wanted to see for myself what led to my birth.
Oh.
I think it's a good idea.
Yukari-san.
Isn't it normal to want to know about things like that? We're talking about your roots here.
I see.
Actually, I was just thinking about taking a vacation too. That battle from the other day was a lot more grueling than I imagined it would be.
Well, to be fair, it happened twice. As Yukari-san says, it was truly a fierce battle. Because I was severely damaged, my maintenance had to go on for a good deal longer than usual, and I spent a long time in my repair bay. That's why I'd been longing to feel the light of the sun. I'm not sure if Yukari-san knows that I feel this way, but she smiles.
Hey, I guess, why don't we go together? And it'd be nice if we could stay at your summer house, like we went to before, Mitsuru-senpai.
Though Mitsuru-san smiles knowingly, she readily agreed to our request.
The last time we lived together was back when we were roommates during our 3rd year of high school.
You're right.
That brings back memories. I told you to stop being so overly polite because it made you stick out in class. And yet, you never did.
All this Persona 3 reminiscing. After passing through the forest, we reach a desolate area with debris scattered around. Could this have been the outer wall that surrounded the research site? The entire thing has collapsed and it's been overtaken by wild plant growth.
So this is the place.
I correlate what I see with the data about the site and confirm that this place is where the combat testing ground had been. We passed through where the gates had been and proceed further inside. We walk through the facility for a while and an old white dog runs up to us and barks. I feel as if this dog isn't barking to warn us or frighten us away, but it is more welcoming, greeting us. I try to match the dog to the data I have regarding Yakushima, cross-referencing appearance, attempting to match vocal recording.
Snowy?
Huh? Do you know this dog?
No, not as such.
I quickly find a record of this dog. There's no doubt that this dog is Snowy, the same animal that my sister made friends with. He's still okay after all these years.
He appears to be the dog my sister became attached to in the past. It seems he can tell that I'm like her.
Huh?
Snowy wags his tail and comes over to happily nuzzle me. He appears to be welcoming me, though we'd never actually met before. I can't communicate clearly with him the way I can with Kuramaru-san. Still, his actions are easy enough to understand. I crouch down and gently pet him.
It would appear that this place, and what happened here, are part of my own roots after all.
What do you mean?
In the past, I thought that my ability to communicate with animals was just something that I could do. It didn't seem like the people at the lab had deciphered dog language, and even then, I doubted that such an ability was necessary for a weapon. I had thought it mysterious that I was capable of doing so, but it seems that my sister can do the same thing.
Huh. So are you saying that you inherited that function from Labrys?
It's not really a function, per se.
I stop petting Snowy and stand up before taking a sweeping look around the area. Piles of debris, both large and small, are scattered about. The early summer sun shines down upon us.
It's probably something that was slowly nurtured among the 5th generation units that were housed here. Behavioral traits, like having interest in things besides missions, get passed on. And then, interest in animals. And then, the ability to communicate.
I see.
After a long line of inherited system feedback, my sister gained that ability, and I, in turn, gained it from her. The reason I have a special rapport with dogs, out of all animals, is most likely because of that process.
Wow, that's pretty deep. If it goes that far, then you're right. It's not just some function that you were intended to have. It's more like a wish.
Yes.
I crouch down once more and pet Snowy again for a while. After that, I begin clearing away the mossy rubble that has been left unattended for so long. Snowy happily runs around the area that has been cleared of the rubble.
Still, for the ones before Labrys who had hearts or wishes, it might be a bit sad that this place is left like this.
Just as Yukari-san says, the carelessly scattered rubble under this clear, beautiful sky only emphasizes the loneliness of this place. Snowy barks once again and runs through a small hole in the passage blocked by debris, then barks again as if motioning for us to follow him. We see a shimmering yellow-green light shining through the hole he had passed through.
Huh? What's that?
Move aside more debris to make a hole large enough for a person to pass through. What we find on the other side is... Whoa.
Oh. Wow, it's super pretty here. What is this place?
There's a tall, cylindrical structure that looks like a greenhouse that reaches high above us. It seems this area was once indoors, but the ceilings have long since collapsed, and this structure stands directly under the blue sky. The clear cylinder is literally acted as a greenhouse, allowing the area inside to grow lush green grass, trees, and the vibrant flowers. Even birds and butterflies flit about inside. This place is something like that of the paradise out of a children's book. But these are the remains of the anti-shock chamber, where Labrys and the other units of her module have undergone battle tests.
There are many plants here that only grow far to the south of this latitude. This building's windows seem to have coincidentally formed a greenhouse.
I take a closer look around and notice a large sword stuck into the ground in the center of the room. The unit that had used this weapon is thought to have been destroyed, but the sword remains here, unchanged.
The number 024 is stamped into this. It may have belonged to a unit that fought here.
Oh, I see. It's kind of hard to believe that this place was once such a nightmare.
Once such a nightmare. As far back as the memories go, it's not wrong to say this place was just as Yukari-san describes it. And the way this room is now, it may be a fitting tribute to my sisters who fell here within this very chamber. The large blade here is more than half covered with a soft green moss, and small birds are using it as a perch.
Hey, I guess let's ask Mitsuru-senpai to keep this place like it is.
Yukari-san.
And why don't we bring everyone else here from time to time? Let's bring Labrys next time, too.
I nod. My power is your power. That's why I'll never forget you all. As the last of the anti-shadow suppression weapons, I will fulfill my duty to protect my companions and my sister. Protect humanity and create a future with your memories within me.
I'm glad I came here.
I feel happiness in the depths of my heart and take a step forward. I raise my voice as loud as I can so it echoes throughout this entire chamber.
Everyone, thank you.
The chirping of the birds and the sound of the waves echoes on forever. I wonder if that was, I don't think that counts as Yukari's. I think it's just Aigus's. We'll see though. Man. A few days after the case was resolved, I stand before a gravesite. The marker is still new and clean. Man.
We finally met. I'm sorry it took me so long to come.
Some of my memories are those from another machine like me, Unit 24. She and I were in the same production generation. Some of those memories are of a girl, but Mitsuru-san and her people aided me in finding that girl and finding out who she is. The first word in her records after her name, deceased. Mitsuru-san was apologetic when she told me about this, but I wasn't surprised. The girl in my memory had been in a hospital room. That's why, in my heart, I was kind of expecting things to turn out this way.
You know, there's a bunch of stuff I wanted to say, and I don't know where to start now. But thanks so much for giving me life.
No words come back to me from the gravestone. I didn't make it in
I have
time.
a younger sister, and I've got companions and friends too, because you wished for it.
Who?
I have a happy life.
Who
now.
is this?
But there's nothing I can do to repay you.
Mommy, there's someone here.
As I was standing still, a boy approaches me and looks up at me with curiosity. A woman, apparently his mother, follows him and bows to me. She's holding a bouquet of flowers. It seems his family has come to visit this girl's grave.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you, this girl's family?
Oh no, it's just my boy has the same illness as the girl who's here.
I look at the boy. He does seem thin, but he otherwise doesn't appear to be in poor health.
The girl here agreed to submit to a great many examinations when she was young. Because of that, the doctors learned a great deal about her disease. And it's thanks to her sacrifice that my little boy is still alive today. He can even go to school.
She tells me more about her son and then explains that they come to visit the girl's grave to thank her. After they lay the bouquet on the grave, the boy and his mother stand silently for a moment. When they leave, I'm alone in front of the grave once more. She dreamed of being useful to the world, and that wish has come true. I know she would have wanted to see the results of how she helped people. But in the end, she never could. Then I've
found something I can do. Hey, can I call your mom?
That's weird. I will carry on your dream, my mother, and protect the world where all the lives you saved reside. Just as you wish for my happiness, I will wish for the happiness of all humans, and will do what I can to protect them. I'll do it in the best way I can, as a shadow operative. Well, that was weird. Hers is weird. I didn't get it. They ready to finish her Persona 4 Arena 1 story, but I just did not get that at all.
Miss Yamagishi, this is a spectacular feat. We've never had a second-year student receive the award for best paper at this school.
Oh boy.
Thank you.
I received an urgent summons from my lab at college and found my professor there, openly praising
We're
me.
already getting recruitment calls from labs and corporations, but I'd recommend that you devote yourself to studying abroad.
Abroad, you say?
I just happen to be friends with a professor who's searching for an assistant. If you wish, I can write you a letter of recommendation at once.
I hesitate a bit on how to respond to my professor's cheerful words. Ever since I entered the engineering department, things have become awkward with my parents. Though they still look pained when the subject of my not entering medical school comes up, Perhaps he'll be impressed with me if I tell him that I'm going to study abroad at a famous college overseas.